Yeah, so for us, it occurs sort of midstream in where we are with in this case in key managers or key manager retention, and pretty often what we call a succession bridge. So if we need to bridge the gap to the next generation of leadership, and we have someone in place who's got the competency, capability, and proven experience that they can step in a leadership role, particularly if something happens to the owner. And we want to make sure that we've got the proper incentives tied in to bridge that gap, right? So what I mean by that is, specifically circumstance where we've worked with clients, we've got a CFO or COO who is that person, and we want to ensure that should there be we want to ensure that they share in equity, right, and are incentivized to grow the operation, not only today but to grow it regardless of whether the owner is present, in the future for a period of time. So on the front end of that, we're going to work on what that agreement would look like. So if it's a partnership agreement, how is everybody going to get into the deal? How do we become partners? And then how do we exit our partnership should something happen? Let's agree to all that on the front end. As part of that process, we're going to talk about, how do we buy in? How are we being bought out? Okay, we're going to need to establish fair market value. How are we going to do that? We're going to lay out those terms. And at that point, once we've gotten agreement all the way from all parties, everyone involved, everyone's comfortable with what's happening, we're going to go ahead and get evaluation done. So all of that happens, I think, it's kind of depending on the client and the circumstance, in a fairly short order. I'd say a couple of months to come to some clarity on the relationship and what that looks like, and then move forward with evaluation from that standpoint once we're pretty concrete. So I don't know if that answered your question or not. It's it's usually once we've got everyone comfortable with the general understanding, we're going to go ahead and get the evaluation done, and at the same time we're having the agreements drafted, and we're going to get ready to sit down at the table and agree to what's been discussed.